Alright guys, time for the update from the hacked video yesterday on that T-33. Sorry, I kept calling it a T-28. I had been working on mine before that. But this is the Hobby King T-33. And this was the pretty much the plug-and-play version, which turned into the ARF version, which almost turned into the kit version for me. If you watch a previous video, I had numerous problems with the mounting of the engine inside. Now this is the Sky Angel series, or Sky Angel, also known as J-Power's series of 50 millimeters. Now these are a lot smaller than I like to go with my EDFs, but I've seen some of these fly and they're very cool, very fast, very fun, and you can do a lot of things with them. So if you saw the video posted before this, I think I got her back in pretty good shape now. Only thing I still have to paint up is right in there. Now I did go to my local hobby shop and I got some Blue Angels color paint. Now this, well, I got it right here. Let me show you. Alright, hopefully you can see this. And no, I don't recommend any brands in my videos, but this is just what I happen to pick up. This is called Aircraft Finish. It is acrylic. Now, acrylic is really what you got to pay attention to on brush-on paints. There's so many paints, I'm not even going to go into that. But acrylic means no acetone in the paint. It means no propellants as far as out of a spray can or anything like that. Now, this paint is actually, if you can see that, let me see. It's U.S. Air Force Blue Angels, or Blue ANA 607. Now, this is the actual Blue Angels color made by the United States. This is exact. Now, this is the color that I guess China thinks that the Blue Angels are, which is fine. It's pretty until you have to find a paint to try and match it, which you can't. Now, I'll turn the light on here so you can see. One area I touched it up, and I noticed on all the videos online that it seems like everybody's kit that I saw when they were, you know, giving a little walk around of their kit, they all had that dent right there. So I think it was from the way it was packaged, because everyone I've seen has had that. The ones I haven't seen, I think they just micro ballooned it and reshaped it and sanded it. So yeah, I've got her done. Zero vibration. Much more thrust. After doing the clean out and the sealing, and I ran my wires, I think I still got the light on here, so I'll show you. It used to be that the wires from the speed control and the wires from the motor on the EDF unit all came through the bottom part of the fan right there and just came up and were a big loop inside here, and just completely defeated the purpose of a clean tube. Now, as you can see, I still have to go in here and sand off all these EPO knobs that they use in molding, but so I cut some new areas and I rerouted the fan, and now I have the fan basically just going, looks like straight up. Yeah, have the fan going, the wires going straight up, and I followed the spar on the EDF unit. So it goes straight up, and I made a groove right through here so that my speed control is still located where it's at, but I have no wires in the way of the intake or the exit of the thrust. Now, little things like that make a huge difference. Believe it or not, when you add them all up, it's worth doing. Like these little knobs in here, these are just little bumps of styrofoam. You know, no big deal. Most people wouldn't think twice about it. Get in there, sand those out, sand out this tube up here where the horizontal is mounted, sand that out, which I have not done yet. I know, it's ugly. But if you look inside here, you can see those little white specks and dots inside there. Everything all the way back to the EDF unit inside there, except for about 3 inches from the front, so to probably about, oh, I'd say right there. Okay, after that point, I've sanded all of those off back there in the back. I kept them right here just to keep the paint on the intake, but that is looking inside the intake, so you can see where my aileron Y harness comes through, and then my ducted fan unit back there. Once again, you can see the groove I made for the wires. Nothing in the way, except I still hate the way they do those designs, dropping a wire right in between an intake. But she's gonna scream. We're gonna have another windy day here, but I've decided I don't care. I'm taking it out and taking it for a flight, because my next step on it is gonna be painting and filling and making this thing look great. I do have to run to my local hobby shop. Major problem with this, guys. As you can see, let me try and get you from a front angle. As you can see, when you come in for your belly landing, and no, these do not come with gears, at least this one doesn't. I know, easy cheap mod to pick up. First things that are going to hit the ground are going to be your servos right there. And I'm shutting the light off for you there. It's going to be the servos. Those things stick up higher than the wingtip mounted tanks, and yeah, even higher than the belly. So when you're coming in for a landing, chances are these little cheapo servos are going to strip out the first time you hit the ground. So I'm going to, if I can find one at the local hobby stop, find a servo arm cover, one of the real thin plastic molded covers. If not, I'm just going to make one out of balsa, very light, and call it good. Other than that, after the work I did on the plane, I had to do one thing I was not happy about, and that was after I got it seated and saddled, I had a lot of play in the wing after it was screwed down. So I basically went to the CG of the wing, which was right about, let me check the bottom, where I've got it marked. Where's it at? Okay, right in front of the lead wire there. I usually don't take the paint off, but for some reason there I did for the CG. Right above the CG, I put in some 5-minute epoxy, pressed and held that, and now with a good shake, those wings don't move at all. Now I'll show you guys my electronics. I did a lot different than manual recommended. And once again, guys, sorry it looks like crap in here until I get this painted. Now this is the servo. I keep hitting the zoom button. This is the servo that runs, let's see, this one goes to the elevator. And what it is it's two little wires that cross each other right in here and then split apart and go through the back of the plane, break out down here with some very short lines on it, and then connect in. So you want to make sure all your wires stay clear of that. As you can see on the bottom, I've kept a nice little gap in between the wires and my electronics. Now I have a, let's see, I'm running an AR600 in here, I believe, or an AR6100 Spectrum. I mounted that. There is nowhere in here to cut out area to mount your electronics, or else you will be right inside your intake. So I mounted this out of the way, down in the battery tray a little bit. When I was balancing it, I went ahead and stuffed foam, Dupro foam, and down in the bottom, rolled it up, stuffed her down in there so that my battery fits snug even without Velcro. Now, of course, I will Velcro my battery in. Switched out the EC3. It had a little 2mm connector. Switched that out to, or switched out the 2mm connector to an EC3. That's what I run all my batteries on, so I always keep a stock of EC3 connectors ready to solder on. And the aileron servos, which I just put down with some double-sided very sticky tape, aircraft quality, real aircraft quality tape. Ran my antenna right here along the side, and then slightly into that hole. And battery, I'm experimenting with batteries right now as far as what's going to be the best for this. But right now I've been running the Blue Lipo 1300 milliamp 25C. I wish I would have gone up to a 35C, maybe even a 40C, but we'll see how that works out. So I'll have more coming, guys, and try and get that maiden for you.